Hi, everyone. Welcome to my home yoga space. I plan on recording videos from here during this time where the studio is now closed, and I just want to be able to offer the students some yoga. And we need it now more than ever. Tensions are running high, anxieties are high, and rightly so. And there's just a lot of uncertainty if we're realistic about it all. These are uncharted waters for us. So we need to really take care of ourselves. And I want to provide a way for you to do that. So I was thinking about what's going on right now, and the famous quote comes to mind for me from Mr. Rogers. And he said that his mom would always tell him during times of crisis or anxiety to always look for the helpers. There are always people helping. And there's so much going on right now, and many of us feel, we're closed up in our houses and we feel helpless. Like, how can I make a difference? And we might have all these ideas, but then we might feel like, well, that's just such a small thing. How can that really make a difference? But all the little things really do make a difference. And I was just thinking of a few things myself and would love to hear any suggestions that you have. For example, if you order takeout food, really tip the person. Give them a little extra. They're going above and beyond. Or if you go out somewhere, anywhere where people are still working, just be extra kind to them. May we not take out our stress on them. May we be patient if we have to wait in long lines. So the other thing I was thinking of is just the people that are really isolated right now. It could be seniors, it could be people with compromised immune systems. Maybe we mail them a card or a handwritten letter. Maybe we take them flowers. Maybe we make a meal, or we offer to go get them groceries. But just really keeping in mind those people that are isolated. Also sending prayers and good energy to the people on the front lines, the doctors, the nurses, the first responders, the police, people that, it's life as normal for them, and even more so. I guess it wouldn't be normal right now, but just keeping them in mind. And just a few ideas. Maybe you can come up with a few, like, how can I help? It doesn't have to be big ways, but in small ways, how can I help? So we're going to start a practice now. I hope you enjoy this hour practice. It's a mixed level, and I will give modifications, and feel free to make it your own. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can push the pause button anytime you want and just shut me up. My husband wishes he had that option, but he doesn't. I hope you enjoy this practice. So we'll just take a few moments to center, find a nice comfortable seat, however it works for you to sit. And then place your hands on your thighs, and let's turn the palms facing down, a little more grounding and calming. And then simply close your eyes and let your attention drop into your environment. You might notice any sounds around, like a pet. Thank goodness for our pets, they're very calming. Notice the temperature of your space. And then simply drop into your inner environment. Notice your physical body. How are you feeling today? Are there areas of holding or tension? And be aware of them. Just meet yourself right where you are. And then, as the quote from Mr. Rogers reminds us, to look for the helpers. Tune into your breath. Your breath is quite the little helper when it comes to your nervous system and calming you down. It seems like such a small, insignificant thing, but it's super powerful. Just begin to notice when the breath enters through your nose, and purposely watch when it exits out. And continue focusing on a few more rounds of really nice, deliberate breathing. Keeping your awareness focused on the breath. There may be other distractions in your environment. Well, We just let them come and let them go. Taking one more deep, generous breath in and sigh it out. Let the mouth open slightly. And join the hands together in front of the heart, simply bowing, honoring this sacred time that you're giving to yourself, to care for yourself, so that then you may be able to extend some kindness, some help to your neighbors, your community. We ask for grace on this practice, and extra grace in this time of uncertainty. Lifting your head, release your hands, and let your eyes come open. And so we begin. So I have a couple blocks here. You may or may not have them, but if you do, you can use those, or you might have something else creative in your area that you could use if you want. And we're going to start in a seated position. Just feeling our seat on the ground, just very calming. Place your feet about as wide as your yoga mat. I'm going to face you some of the time, and then I'll turn and face the other direction, but so you can see. So bring the hands behind you, prop your spine up nice and tall, and then let both legs fall to the left. So both legs fall to the left, and just begin to lift your chest a little bit more there. And then take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, bring the legs all the way over to the second side. This posture we call windshield wiper. Take a nice breath in. Then as you exhale, lift the legs up all the way to the other side. Deep breath in. Exhale across. Last time, deep breath in. And exhale across. And then bring the legs back to center. Bring your feet a little closer together, still sitting nice and tall. We'll move into some seated cat and cow. So we'll awaken the spine, but again, feeling your pelvis very rooted and grounded. With an inhale, lengthen up tall through your spine. And on your exhale, round into cat position. Oh, your spine loves this. Inhale, sitting up tall, all the way up. And exhale, round. Let's do 2 more rounds of that, flowing with your breath. Remember that breath is an amazing little helper. Inhaling tall. And exhale, rounding. And then last time, as you sit tall, right here, just pause for a moment and bring your hand to your low back. So the low back right now hopefully is not overly rounded. When we sit tall, we're attempting to get what we call a lumbar curve. We'll revisit this several times through the practice. And then if you round into that cat pose, you'll feel there's more of a pelvic tilt. That's the opposite of a lumbar curve. So we're going to move right now onto our back. So when you arrive on your back here, I'm going to invite you to, hope you can still see me, bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a nice little hug there. Oh. And then place your left foot on the ground and extend your right leg up. Flex and point your foot several times as if you're just pumping some good energy down your leg. Good time to take some inventory and see what's happening in your body. Maybe circle your ankle a few times. And then bend both knees back into your chest. Take a deep breath in. Release it when you're ready. Now place your right foot on the ground. Let's do the same thing with the left leg. Just straighten it up, flex and point. Just warm it on up here. And then circle the ankle a few times. And then bring both knees back into your chest. Take a deep breath in. Release it out. And now stretch both legs up to the ceiling. Holding there. You might lift your head and shoulders a little bit. And then lower down with your left leg, this time keeping both legs straight. Take a nice big inhale and bend your right knee towards your chest on the inhale. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Again, inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. One more time, inhale, bend. And exhale, straighten. Lift the left leg up, we'll switch sides. Wait for your breath. On an inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. And when you straighten, just push the leg away from you. One more time, inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. And bend both knees into your chest once again. Let your arms come out into a cactus pose or straight on out. I'm sure you have more room there. You can stretch your arms out, palms face up. Flex your feet and hug your legs towards one another and just doing some gentle half twists. So we're not going all the way down to the floor, just almost there, 3/4 of the way we might say, and just go back and forth. Nice massage for the low back. Feels extra delicious if you connect with your breath here. Inhale the legs to the center, exhale across. Just encourage us to stay connected to the breath throughout the entire class today. It is the helper that calms your nervous system. And then place both feet on the ground. So bring your arms down to your sides, then cross your left leg over your right. And you can stay right here. You might feel plenty of stretch. I like to really press my ankle bone against my right thigh bone in this case. And when I do that, I feel this knee drop forward automatically. I don't have to push it. So stay here and maybe try to find that lumbar curve. See how my fingers are underneath my back? You may not get it all the way through, but a little space under your back. See if you can find that. Now, when you lift your legs, that might go away. It probably will go away, but hold on to the back of your right thigh. So put the hand right through the leg, and then try to push your legs forward as if to find or recreate that little tiny curve in your low back. And then just pause here. Let your hip have some time to acclimate, to open, to soften. Meanwhile, let your entire body and your mind just enjoy connecting to the floor. Very calming. And then release your right leg down. We're going to switch sides. Cross your right leg over, and we'll just pause for a moment. Flex the right foot and press the ankle into the thigh. Feel how that will automatically gently take your knee forward. You might explore again. Is there space to at least slide something really flat under my back here? Just a little bit of wiggle room maybe for your fingers. And then you can stay here, or you can bring the legs towards you. Interlace your hands on the back of your left thigh. Press your legs forward a little. Whew, I'm feeling some stuff in my hip. And I just noticed that I was holding my breath. Maybe that's happening for you. So just tune in. Awareness, attention is also a great helper. paying attention. And then we're going to release, and let's see what's next. Oh yes, so we want to warm up through our core here. Bring your legs up now to what we call a tabletop position, so your shins are parallel to the ceiling. And now if it feels okay for your back, try to make that little bit of space under your low back. If that's uncomfortable, then go ahead and press your back down, but see how that might feel to keep that if you can. Place your hands against your thigh bones here and just give your thighs a little squeeze, like a little hug with your fingertips. We're going to gently traction the legs up just a little and press forward just a tiny bit, really mild pressure. And you might feel deep inside in your abdominals, there's a little action going on, a little bit of bracing, abdominal bracing. So we'll just hold here, feet are flexed. There's a gentle pressure against the thighs. And we're holding on, bracing ourselves. We want to keep breathing while we're doing that. And we'll just hold for 5 more counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring the knees into your chest. And then stretch your legs long and your arms long, full body stretch. Now you let a big curve come under your low back. You might want to flex your feet, spread your toes and your fingers. And many times I automatically yawn when I do that. And then one more time, please bring your legs back for an abdominal bracing. Take 2, flex your feet, create a little space if that's comfortable. And then again, it's just a little squeezing the legs, tractioning the legs up slightly, and a gentle pressure forward. So this strengthens deep inside, the deep transverse abdominals, and even the muscles that surround and support the spine. Very functional for daily life to just be strong and be able to brace ourselves for the challenges that come our way. And holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring your legs on in. I'll ask you just to roll to one side and press yourself on up to your hands and knees, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, hands and knees. So we're going to take your left leg, extend it back, and cross it over the midline. So you're going to cross it over and then peek over your right shoulder and look back towards your left foot. Then come back to center, and we'll do that on the opposite side. Right leg back, cross the midline, look over your left shoulder, and look at your left foot. And look at your right foot, I guess that would be. And then coming back to center. And now we'll take the left leg straight out from your body, straight out from your hip, toes are forward, and just do a gentle rocking back and forth. So hopefully you can see that. If not, it looks like this. Your leg is just off to the side and you're doing a gentle rocking back and forth. You might feel some sensation in your inner thigh. Mine feels like a tight guitar string ready to pop. So I have to be gentle and just breathe through it. And bring your left leg in, and let's do the same with the right. Warm it up, all the areas that need to be warmed up for what's coming your way in the practice yet. So just some gentle, dynamic movement. Connecting to your breath. And then bring your right leg on in. Now just lift your left arm, take your left leg through, and coming up to this position. Right here for a moment, lengthen up through your spine, and then if it feels comfortable for you, add your arms on up. You're welcome to keep them down if you'd like, and just stretch like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Nice full Anjaneyasana. And then from here, take your hands to your thigh Take your ribs back and just go into a bowing position for a second. Just bow and round your spine. And then from here, we touch down and slide your left leg back. Now the opposite side, bring your right leg forward. Take time to get your balance. Hands can stay down or reach on up. And just feel the whole sides of your body lengthening and you're breathing. And then from here, bring your hands down to your front knee. Take your ribs back, your sternum back, and just bow. You're basically doing a cat pose with your spine here. And then come on down, reach down and touch the floor. We're going to lift your back leg, step forward, and place your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees. Now you're welcome to put a block here in front of you if that's helpful. Back up here a little bit. So you can have a block if you want, or if it's easy for you to touch the floor and keep your legs straight, that's fine. We're going to bend and straighten with the breath. So inhale, as you bend your knees, push your seat back and stretch your heart forward. And then when you exhale, push through your feet, really ground down into that stable earth beneath you. Once again, bend with an inhale, long spine, hips press back. And on your exhale, straighten the legs. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, bend. See if you can keep your hips pushing back while your head and heart go forward. And on an exhale, straighten the legs. Pause here. Oh, let your head shake out. Release any tension through your face. Then bending your knees. I'm going to ask you to place your hands on your thighs and come part way up here. And earlier I was talking about your back, right? The lumbar curve. So see if you can make a little gentle curve here. Don't have to overdo it. And then meet that with some bracing, some support from the front of you. From here, lift up through the chest. And we're going to take our arms into this, what we call a W position. So you'll be like this. Palms turn out, pinky fingers rotate back, and feel how that just brings your shoulder blades like an emerging way on your back. So hold here, and then from here we're going to stand up, reach up towards the ceiling, grab your right wrist, pull up and lean over to your left. Oh, that feels so good. And then come back to center, switch to the other side. Pull up and lean over to your right. Notice I'm keeping just a little softness in my knees, just a little bend. And then come back to center and we'll find that position again. Hands to your thighs. Push your seat back, create a gentle lumbar curve. And this time see if you can hug your feet and your shins towards each other. Draw in with your feet and shins and feel how it enlivens your legs. From that place of stronger legs, push your seat back and lift a little lumbar curve. Tone your abdomen and just lengthen through your spine. And now bring your arms in front of you, holding here. And then reach down, touch the mat, and let your head fully release. And then bring the hands onto your hips. Bend your knees just a little. Roll your shoulders up so you feel your shoulder blades once again on your back and rise from that place of alignment. So now we'll come down to your knees. Find the center of your mat. Again, you can have a block handy if you like one. We're going into a gate series. And so we'll start with extending your left leg off to the side, and come on to put the sole of your foot down with your toes facing forward. Then left hand on your left thigh, bring the other arm straight up. Invite the helper of the breath. So inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, folding over. You can just go in increments. You don't have to go or force yourself to go super deep. Just pause and let the breath be your escort that takes you there little by little. Tuning into the sensations that you feel on the side, and from that place of your attention and noticing, you can make a wise choice. Do I go deeper, or is that plenty for now? And then lifting on up, you can come over. This is where you might put your hand on a block if it's there and it's useful for you. Otherwise, roll onto the heel of your left foot. Bring your left arm up and over if that's doable. You can also just bring it straight up. But if you want to go for a little deeper, reach over and then see possibility of turning your chest upward towards the ceiling. Oh, feels so good. And then with an inhale, rise, come all the way up. And we're going to bend this leg now and fold over, put your forearm on your thigh, and bring your other arm up and just a little lunge into the left leg. This hand can be straight up or even on your hip. You can modify that and then come all the way up. And we're just going to repeat those 3 on the second side. So right leg comes out, place the sole of the foot flat, the toes are forward, and then right hand on your thigh. Big inhale, rise, and exhale, leaning over to your side. And again, pause. Once you start to feel some sensation here, just stop and breathe into that. You might guide your right rib cage forward a little. It's really expanding our lung capacity here as we stretch through the side body and all the little intercostal muscles in between our ribs. Your next breath in, lift on up. We're going to reach over to the floor, rotate onto the heel, and then start to stretch your arm up and over the head. Again, variation might be up, and then just rotate. If that's in your wheelhouse today, just stretch really long. And with your next breath, inhale, rise. You're going to bend your right leg. See if you can get the knee right above the ankle. And then just put your forearm on your thigh. Option 1 might be just to keep your hand on your hip here and lunge a little. The next option is to reach the arm up or over. And then check in. Am I holding my breath? I was, so I noticed that. Good. And then come all the way up. Fantastic. Bring the right leg forward. Let's come to a standing position. So moving to the front of your mat, we'll start to go into a few sun salutations here. So bring the hands to your heart center. Put a little, look down at your feet, make sure they're straight ahead, and then just a little cushion in your knees. Thighs move back, and again, we're not tucked under. This posture is very fear-based, and when we are afraid and anxious, we tend to close up through our shoulders, our thighs pop forward, and so this practice is guiding us to bring the thighs back, to open the chest up, to reverse some of that maybe unconscious fear-based patterning that we've been putting in our bodies. So inhale, take the arms on up and try to reach high without pushing your thighs forward like this. So see if you can keep the thighs back. Exhale, forward fold. You can put the hands on blocks or the mat and let the head release. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your spine. And exhale, fold deeply. Stepping your right leg back. Please lower your back knee to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms on up to Anjaneyasana. And on an exhale, slowly come on down. You're going to lift the back leg, step back to downward facing dog, our first downward dog, and just take a moment here to check your foundation. Fingers are spread wide, the hands are a good shoulder width apart, and the feet are hip width apart. And just begin to bend your knees, lift your gaze just slightly, looking at your thumbs, let's say, little curve in your lumbar, and then you can straighten the legs and look back, and you'll notice how your back right here will round a little. So we're going back and forth here. Bend the knees and look forward slightly. We're not going to lift our head too high, but just look out at the front of your mat and straighten and round. And then now to finish this sun salutation, step your right leg forward and then lower your back knee down. Inhale, stretch both arms up. Exhale, touch back down. Lift the back leg, step on forward, feet hip width, and then sweep the arms. Inhale, stretch up, try to keep your thighs back, and exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again. Inhale, stretch the arms on up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold deeply. This time we'll step the left leg back first. Left leg back. Pausing here. And then bring your hands onto your front thigh and come up for a balanced position. Crescent pose. You can keep your hands on your hips for option 1, or option 2, raise the arms up if you choose. Keep hugging your legs towards each other. That'll help with stability. And then slowly come down, touch the mat, and we'll step back this time to a plank pose, top of a push-up. Just holding here in push-up position. And then exhale, lower down nice and slow. Take your hands a little wider, maybe a couple inches off your mat, and a little forward. And then make sure your legs are strong and pressing down strong. A little tone through your abdomen, and then lifting up with an inhale. We're going to pulse with this. Exhale down. So we're just gradually working into the spine here. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Just do 2 more on your own. Bring the hands by your chest. We're going to go into child's pose. So lift up, let your knees come a little wider, maybe as wide as your mat, big toes touch, and then sitting back. Let your head release. Head release, and just pause here for a few breaths. And then lifting your head, place your hands, and please rise back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees in down dog, and that takes your hamstrings out of the picture here a little and allows you to tilt your pelvis and create a healthy curve there. So just a little gentle lumbar curve is great. You might push your hips a little higher while keeping the knees bent. And now step your left leg forward up between your hands. You're going to come upright in crescent pose. Try to get the shoulders over the hips here if possible. Then your hands can stay here and just work on stability and balance, or the arms can reach up for an added bonus. Lunging deep into the front leg. And slowly touch down. Stepping forward with your back leg, mindfully placing your feet. With the assistance of the breath, inhale, swing the arms, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to place a balance posture here now called flamingo. So I'll give you options. Put a little bend in your knees. Option one would be to stand on your left leg, lift your right leg up and hold it. So this is a great place to work on strength and balance. Option one. Option two is to bring the hands together. Keep bending your standing knee. Keep a nice lumbar curve and just bring the leg slightly behind you. Leaning forward, and I'm squeezing the right heel up towards the right gluteal. Just pausing here. Flamingo. You can flap your wings if you want. That's a nice variation. And then come up and place your right foot down. And so we'll do the second side. Have a little seat first. Option one, standing on your right leg, bring your left leg up and balance. Choosing to stay there or explore flamingo, hands together. Bring the legs slightly behind you. Good bend in your standing knee. Little support from your abdomen here. Remember that bracing we did. Use that now. And then come back up. Place your foot down. All right, let's do one more sun salutation. Inhale, take your arms and reach up. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, lift your heart halfway. You can even slide your hands up your legs if you'd like. And then exhale, release. Invite your right leg to step back. Spin the back heel down. And just check to see that your back foot is facing straight forward. And there's a good heel to arch alignment. So heel of the front foot lines up with the arch of the back foot. Then coming up for Virabhadrasana 2. This pose feels so empowering. So just pause and let yourself sink into your strong legs. Hold steady. And from here, just reaching on down, find the floor. You're going to spin onto the ball of your back foot. And once again, step back to plank pose. Holding right here. So you want to keep your thighs from doing this. Keep the thighs lifted. Even see if you can gently bring your shoulder blades a little more on your back. Drawing up through your abdomen. Long spine out to the top of your head. And then lower down. Tops of your feet come down. Inhale, lifting to cobra. Again, the elbows are bent in cobra. Pelvis is on the floor. Exhale, release all the way down. Hands by the chest. Here we go. Downward facing dog. Up and back. Do a little extended dog as an option this time. If you want to lift your left leg up, extend it long. If that's too much, just keep it down. You can even go into child's pose. And then slowly lower the left leg down. Bend your knees a little. Find that lumbar curve. And now let's do the right side. Extend the right leg on up. Breathing to support your actions. And this time we'll take the right leg all the way up and through. Drop the back foot down. Take time to notice your foundation. Sorry, my back is going to be to you for a moment. And just bend nice and deep into the front leg. As you inhale, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, maybe sink a bit deeper. And then reaching down, touch the mat. Lift the back heel, step forward. Feet hip width apart. This time let's anchor the hands onto the pelvis. Lift the shoulders up and inhale, come all the way up to standing. So once again, going back to balance, bend your knees a little. So option one is you can repeat. You can bring your right leg up and hold it and just work on balance here. Option two is to take the leg behind you into warrior three with W arms. So bend your elbows, engage the blades on your back and draw up through your core. And then just explore with the position that feels right for you. Yeah. And slowly come on up and release. Let's try the other side. We'll be balancing on the right foot now. So a little bend in the knees, thighs are back. See if you can maintain that awareness of a curve here, not a tucking under. No more fear-based. So here we go. We're going to lift your left leg. Option one might be to stay here in any variation. Tall spine. If you're exploring option two, you'll take your leg behind you, bring your arms out in that W position, and draw up through your core. And just no rush here. You take your time. You might fall out of the posture. Just start over again. See, I feel that? I'm calling on the helper of my breath and my awareness. And then slowly come on up. Those always get my heart pumping. All right, let's see where we're going next. I'm going to take our legs wide. Make sure your feet are straight ahead. And then for a moment, just put your hands on your hips, on your pelvis, and roll your shoulders back slightly. Lengthen up through your spine. Take a deep breath in. I'm pressing downward on my pelvis. And then a slow fold forward, all the way down. You're welcome to put a block underneath you here if you need it, or touch the floor. Just let the head release. Receiving the gift of your breath that can help you self-regulate and calm down, helping relieve tension, anxiety, worry, fear. All of those things that are inevitable. They're part of being human. They're going to be knocking on our door always. But we get to choose if we keep them or if we let them go. Then extend your arms, coming up, strong legs. Reach all the way up towards the ceiling. And bring the hands down to your heart center. Step your feet closer together, and let's just pause in the master pose of Tadasana, or mountain pose. A little bend in your knees, thighs are back, lengthening up tall through your spine, eyes softly closed. Just feel the current of your breath running through you. Our nervous system is the epicenter of our bodies, and the breath is this amazing maestro that can control and regulate. So anytime we're feeling helpless, afraid, fearful, whatever emotions might be swirling, you can always stop, even for 30 seconds or a minute, and just take a few slow, deep breaths. At the end of your next breath out, just let your eyes open and release your hands down to your sides. And we're going on down now to the floor. And do a couple quieting poses and some very calming breath and a nice little Shavasana. So bring yourself on down to your back, right where we started. Oh, this feels even better now. We're going to separate your feet as wide as your mat. We did this at the beginning in a seated position, windshield wiper. So let your right knee fall in and your left leg can stay up this time. You can stretch your right arm over your head, long stretch. And then please switch sides. And coming back to center. Bring your feet a little closer together. And from here, preparing for a bridge pose, bend your elbows and just gently draw your shoulders a little more back towards the floor. From here, pressing down through the feet, begin to lift up the pelvis. Again, not pressing too high or too quickly. Find that place where you're not overextending. So you might want to drop down just a little. And pause here. A slight lift of the chin. Receiving a breath in. When you exhale, slowly release yourself down. See if you can let your bottom be the first thing that lands. So when it does, there might be this nice little space under your low back. And then let's do a bridge again. Inhale, when you're ready, lift your pelvis up to bridge. Breathing. And on your exhalation, lower down and see if you can let your bottom touch down. Nice. Then placing your hands on your low belly. We're going to wind down here with a breath technique that can be very grounding and really help you when you feel like you're leaving your body and floating around in the place of fear. It can bring you back, help you feel like you're not being pulled in a million directions. So the focus is the word just and a number, just one, just two, just three, like that. So begin to notice your breath, and when you inhale, you might feel a subtle rising of the belly when you inhale. It might be very subtle, and exhale, feel it descending. So we're not forcing it or trying to change it, just observe. And if there's no rising, that's okay. Just know that you're breathing. You might meet up with the sensation through your nose. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to take 7 breaths. 7 breaths. So when you inhale, say to yourself the word just. And when you exhale, say the word one. When you inhale again, say the word just. And on your exhale, 2. And just continue like that, counting up to 7. Inhaling just. Exhaling 3. Take your time. I'll meet up with you after 7. In your time after you complete 7, just go back to normal breathing and feel, just feel. And now transitioning to a little deeper rest. And extend your legs out long. If you're chilly, grab a sweatshirt or blanket and cover up for Shavasana. Bring your arms to your sides. And I'll talk you through a little bit of relaxation. Give you some time here. So just take some time to really release. Let yourself be cradled and held. The surface beneath you is stable. It's going nowhere. Fall into that knowing. With eyes closed, begin to bring your awareness to your feet and feel your heels. Let your heels release their weight into the surface completely. Moving your attention up to your pelvis. Feel your hips, your pelvis, very heavy. And permission to sink. Heavy heels, heavy hips and pelvis. And moving your awareness up to the back of your head, heavy skull or head. And letting the places in between release now, from your ankles all the way up to the top of your thighs. Let the legs be heavy. And from the top of your pelvis, up your spine, to the base of your neck, softening, yielding, releasing. The muscles of your face just be relaxed and soft. And finally, let your attention move and rest in the space of your heart center. Taking a few minutes here in complete silence, welcoming stillness, so medicinal. Now you're in your own home, you're always so welcome to extend your Shavasana. Or if you're ready to resurface, just begin to notice your breath. Starting to move gently with your fingers and toes. Stretching your arms if you wish. And then begin to draw your knees in towards your chest and roll to your right side for a few breaths. Just pause there. And then making your way up to your seat. When you're ready, with the eyes closed, just take a moment to join your hands together. Sweetly bow towards the wise heart, which appreciates you so much, indulging in some self-care today, so that you might be able to stay healthy, be healthy, but also extend a little help to those around us in your neighborhood, in the larger community. You can have just very small, creative ways that you can make a difference. Thank you for joining me for this practice. Namaste.